Hey guys, this is Piranha Z06 coming to you from my downtown condo man cave, and this is the next and probably last one for quite a while video about my new 8020 rig, because I can't think of anything else I could possibly do to it at this point. I've got everything I could ever need and more, admittedly. So let's get to it. Okay, so here is the final product. First thing you might notice is that I moved the mat back up against the wall because I didn't need it so back like I thought I would need it. So I moved that when I undid a lot of stuff. Well, I undid a lot of pretty much everything, because two of the things I added were, well, more than two things, but two of the most recent thing is I added casters to the monitor stand. And so I had to pull it all out to do that. And then if you've heard of these are the Vario Monitor VESA Mount Adapter kit by SimLab, and they are amazing. If you have a triple monitor stand that's an 8020 and you use the triples and like for everything to be lined up level, I'm not kidding you, this is unbelievably level, almost no gap in the overlap, aligned perfectly straight up and down level across the top. There's so many adjustments on that thing. It's the best 80 bucks I've ever spent on anything in my sim rig. On engineering feat, the way they've got it figured out to make everything simple. Putting them on is simple, adjusting is simple. I can't say enough about those things. Sim Racing Garage did an excellent review of these recently. That's where I first saw about them. They were immediately on back order. I snatched a pair as soon as they came off back order, and they immediately went on back order again. So everybody wants these. Get them, get them, get them. Okay, so since the initial setup, I told you I had a bar of 8020 coming, so I got that. That's the crossbar mounting there, and that I mounted the PC rack tray to. So it is off the ground. It is all one piece. In fact, I haven't tied it together with bolts, but basically the whole thing is one piece now. Since it's on casters, all I have to do is unlock it. I can unplug that one plug right there. Everything moves if I need to move it to get back behind anything, any kind of emergency or dusting, vacuuming back there, whatever. Okay, so the next thing I did was I had this spare piece and a HOTAS arm tray or mount thing. So I just mounted that onto the crossbar member as well, and to set my Buttkicker amps on, because there's not a good place to put those. Obviously I wanted them to be a part of the one piece too. I had them sitting on top of the PC you may have seen before, and I had I had built up a gap underneath it so the air could still flow. But this is even better, so there's plenty of airflow under there. And they sit right there, nice. And I've got some of the wiring like zip tied to it, so there's no stress being pulled on these wires that don't seat. They're kind of loose. I don't know if you guys, they don't stay in very well, so any little tugging on them will unplug them. I'm trying this. I haven't tried it out with sim racing yet, but I'm mounting my Buttkicker directly to the V3 pedal kit. One, to try to reduce some of the rattle that's in there. With the 8020s, you've got a lot of T-nuts and things hanging off and touching the rig itself, and so a Buttkicker, it not only shakes the rig so that you can feel it, but it shakes everything attached to the rig, and anything that's not 100% tight will rattle. So I'm trying this, and maybe turn the volume down a little bit so that I can just feel it just on my pedals. I got a feeling that it's gonna rattle some, just because if you can hear that, these adjuster things rattle just by wiggling them. So I don't know, I'm gonna try that. Sorry. I also moved my Buttkicker that you used to see back here, and I mounted it directly under the seat. There's a round cross member underneath the Sparco R100 seat, and I mounted it directly to that. For both of the Gamer 2 mounts, I had to use Well, for this one, I had an old cotter pin laying around that I stuck in there to give it some girth, because the pole that it's attached to is smaller than the clamp. So I put that in there with it, tightened it down to give it, you know, more volume to clamp to. And then this one, I had an old rusty spark plug wrench, a socket that I stuck in there to do the same thing, since this is a very thin, flat piece of metal. But you can see, stuck that in there to give it some volume to tighten down on. And it doesn't move. I mean, it's tight. So that should work if it doesn't rattle too much the rest of the pedal chart. I can't think of anything new I've added. Those were all the new pieces and finishing touches that I had to do from before. Like I said, yes, believe it or not, I have redone some wiring back here. I've got so many wires. I don't see how people do clean wiring runs. I did do a little bit better than normal. There's not as much quite over here. I mean, you're gonna have wires coming into your computer. I've got, you know, 5 monitors, 6 if you count the VR. I've got 17 things plugged into the USB ports here. I've got extra, you know, webcams and a fan and HOTAS stuff. You know, there's the remotes for the gamer too. There's just so many wires, you can't hide it all. So I did a little bit better this time than just letting it all be a giant bird's nest back here. But there's still some, you know, you're gonna see it. From the front side, it looks nice though. It looks pretty clean from up here. So this is where what I usually see. So it's a pretty clean look. I'm happy with it. I've got a couple of wires, obviously. So I've got my stuff hanging back here, my 2 headsets, the VR and my other auxiliary headset that I use for voice chat and stuff if I'm not doing something in VR. And of course those have to be charged, and my microphone is charging, and that's my phone holder there, so for charging. So I'm gonna take this off 0.15 real quick, just so you can see kind of normal aspect ratio. I was trying to get everything in one frame before. So this is kind of normal perspective zoom ratio. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. If you guys have any questions about where I got everything, how much it was, even if you want to know what I paid for it, don't hesitate to ask. I'm not going to put a full build price sheet like I have done in the past. It's just too much work, and honestly it's quite depressing when you see it all on one piece of paper. But this is my hobby. I don't golf, I don't gamble, so this is my hobby, so this is where my money goes, and I'm okay with that. So oh, I did get a third, I don't think I had this on in the previous video, but maybe I did. The third arm for the monitor, and I think I talked about this, but maybe I can't remember if I had this on in the last video or not, but that was the other monitor, button box arm by SimLab that I put the HOTAS on. So swing that out of the way, get in, race. I did keep one of my Obudo accessory adapters, well, 2 of the holders and 1 for the stick. So I store that there, and I just pop it over here whenever I want to fly. Swing this around, and I'm flying. I can take the steering wheel off, have more room. So again, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed my old Obudo series and the 8020 series. Like I said, I can't imagine what else I would need to do at this point. I'm never going motion, so I don't have to worry about that. 1, it's crazy expensive, and 2, I live in a high-rise vertical living situation, so there are people underneath me, and I don't want to be an annoyance to them. So I'm never going motion. So this is it, pretty much. So unless something breaks and I have to replace it with something newer, can't imagine what else I would do. So again, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the future, maybe.